Embrace the chaos because it's very chaotic, and I know this. Wield your tools with finesse and always keep an eye on the bigger picture. So when I was thinking about what to share, I thought about we're all leaders in this room. So it just makes it appropriate for me to discuss what is it to be a leader. And I work very well with analogies. So I thought of sharing two analogies that I feel really fit the role of a leader. And one has to do with being a chef. And I think being a leader is a lot about being a good chef because you need ingredients and you need the right ingredients. You need the right tools. And finally, you need a whole lot of patience as a leader. And sometimes, despite all our efforts, we fail. Our soufflés still collapse. Our cakes do not rise. And we have soups, which are a soupy mess. However, leadership is never about perfection, but more about resilience, about adaptability. So if you think about the ingredients, there are three important ingredients, in my opinion, when it comes to school leadership or leadership in general. So the first one is vision. So vision, think of vision as something like a recipe. If you do not have a recipe, then you do not know what your end point is and where you want to get at. So vision is your recipe. There is always a secret sauce. My mother-in-law never tells me the secrets to her good recipes, but there's always a secret sauce. And I feel the secret sauce to this is empathy, because it helps you to connect with your team, your students, and understand who they really are and what their needs are. And finally, this is more from my corporate background, I feel that there has to be integrity, and that integrity has to do with quality assurance. Because every time you have that quality assurance, the product that you spin out is always consistent. So that's about being a good chef. Another way I look at being a leader is being like the head gardener, of the school's ecosystem. And you are actually cultivating talent. You are giving everybody enough sunshine so that people have enough to grow. And what you have to think about is you also encounter weeds. And sometimes the weeds are really stubborn weeds. But sometimes how you look at those weeds and how you approach those weeds, you can actually change them from being stubborn weeds to being compost, which allow for growth. So I feel these analogies work beautifully for me. And as a chef, apart from the ingredients, you also deal with tools. And I love baking. And the two of the things that I always use are a spatula and a whisk. And I have this one particular spatula. If I don't have that spatula in my kitchen, I don't cook. Because I feel that spatula allows me to stir well, to smoothen out things, and to, flip things and flip my pancakes very well. But if you look at the analogy of a school leader and a spatula, then I would think it's communication. Because communication helps you, the right communication helps you stir the right ideas. It helps you smoothen out the conflicts, and it helps you flip, challenges into opportunities. The same way my whisk, which is really dear to me, I have a pink whisk because my daughter said, we have to buy a pink whisk. So that's what I use. And that whisk is like the flexibility, because anytime you use flexibility, things are always light. It is easy to adapt, and you can blend in new ideas. Like I fold in my cake. It's so easy to blend in new things, in old things. And that's the whisk for me, flexibility. So there is also one more thing I always do with all my sweet recipes, which is like add a pinch of salt. And for me, that salt is humor, because if you have humor in anything, the right amount of salt in anything leads to a fantastic, end product. So I feel a little bit of humor always really helps. So I did speak in the beginning about failures, and I think failures are things that we have to embrace. So those were my analogies, and I feel everything has a failing point. I'm sure we are all aware of the 1,000 attempts by Thomas Edison to invent the light bulb before he finally failed attempts. And God forbid we all fail 1,000 times before producing anything. I don't think we'll be working at the school anymore if you're failing 1,000 times. But the point is how you treat failure and how you make it into a productive failure shows the type of leader that you are. So there is a very good book I would recommend. And I don't know why I forget, I just remember The Science of Failing Well, but it's a book called Right Kind of Wrong, The Science of Failing Well. And it's written by Amy Edmondson. And I recommend that you read this book because it changes your perspective about failures and it helps you understand how you can make your failures into productive failures. So in the end, I would just say, embrace the chaos because it's very chaotic, and I know this. Wield your tools with finesse and always keep an eye on the bigger picture. Thank you.